Now at 11, a shooting just outside the room where the president was attending a dinner.
I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful.
What we know from the rapidly developing investigation, plus a change in the government's immigration enforcement.
March 11 went in for check-in and didn't come out.
What was once a routine check-in, now a risk for detainment. And back in the Portland Metro, an attempt to quell the chaos at a popular summer destination, but not everyone's pleased.
I would much rather just go somewhere where I wouldn't have to plan ahead to go. I'd like to just come, enjoy my time, and leave.
Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Alma McCarty. One person is in custody after shots were fired outside the White House Correspondents' Center in Washington, D.C. President Trump was evacuated. He and everyone else at the dinner are safe. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
New security video shows the moment a gunman rushed a security checkpoint outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Officers tackled him before he could make it inside the hotel ballroom, where President Trump, the First Lady, and other high-ranking officials were quickly swept out of the room. In this video, you can hear the gunshots coming from outside. One Secret Service officer was shot but is okay thanks to his bulletproof vest. The president addressed reporters back at the White House.
A man charged a security checkpoint.
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down?
One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job.
Security was tight for what was President Trump's first time attending the Correspondents' Dinner as president. A rare moment when the president, his cabinet, and top congressional leaders are all in the same place at the same time, along with prominent members of the media. Witnesses reported seeing top officials pressed to the floor and under tables by Secret Service. The president initially wanted the dinner to restart and now says it will be rescheduled in the next 30 days. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This is not the first time President Trump has faced this kind of threat. He survived an attempted assassination at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and a second attempt at his golf course in Florida. The president added tonight that he won't be deterred from doing the job or appearing in public. Now to the war in Iran and a new setback on peace talks. President Trump has canceled the American delegation's trip to Pakistan. The president says the U.S. should have received a better deal offer from Iran.
We have all the cards. We're not going to spend 15 hours in airplanes all the time going back and forth to be giving a document that was not good enough. And so we'll deal by telephone, and they can call us anytime they want.
The ongoing war has severely impacted maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Before the war, roughly a fifth of the world's oil supply traveled through this key waterway. Since the war began on February 28th, U.S. gas prices have shot up more than 30%, according to AAA. And we now have an update on a hit-and-run investigation from earlier this month. Portland police say the pedestrian hit has died of his injuries. Police say on the night of April 7th, 51-year-old Edwa Kongalo was hit by a car at Northeast MLK and Killingsworth. The driver left the scene and has not been arrested. Kongalo died last Saturday. As police continue to search for the suspect behind this death, they are also asking for help contacting the victim's next of kin. And northbound I-5 lanes were shut down for several hours today after a crash involving two semis. It happened near the I-405 southbound interchange just before 11 this morning. Two people in one of the semis were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. They are expected to survive. The northbound lanes reopened around 3:30 this afternoon. Police say no one was arrested or cited. And in Washington, there is a noted increase in Lao refugees with criminal histories getting detained and deported, some within months. Many in the Laotian and Southeast Asian community came to the U.S. as refugees after the Vietnam War. Some later had criminal convictions requiring them to check in regularly with immigration officials. But families told us even after losing green cards, the annual check-in didn't lead to detention. One man who'd lived in the U.S. for decades found himself detained at the ICE processing center in Tacoma. Less than 3 months later, the feds moved him to El Paso.
We went to see him as soon as he got the transport down there. We went to see him. The next day, he got deported to Laos without no travel document.
They were constantly seeking for freedom, for salvation, for somewhere safe, somewhere to call home. And I think for most of us, it's not until they got to the U.S. that it felt like home, and then this happens. You know.
According to arrest records from the Department of Homeland Security, since last year, 23 people from Laos were detained in Washington state. 19 of them were picked up at their regular check-ins. Our Seattle partners reached out to ICE for a comment on this change of strategy, but we have not heard back. Now check this out. From the Oregon coast, multiple teams, including members of the Coast Guard, were called to rescue a man out of Rocky Creek State Park. The Depot Bay Fire District says this morning the man slipped and fell and was too injured to move. With a Coast Guard helicopter, the man was flown back to the state park, then taken to the hospital. The fire district says it has responded to 3 other falls along the coastline just this weekend. And for the second weekend in a row, we saw conditions that reminded us more of late spring, early summer with sunny skies and warm temperatures. This is a live look outside right now, and we are seeing cool and clear skies. Let's check in with meteorologist Joe Ranieri on what Sunday is going to look like. Joe?
Alma, it's going to be just as nice, maybe a little bit better in a few locations for the second half of your weekend. Live look now from our Pioneer Park building camera. Clear skies, temperature of 57 degrees. We'll start to see your temperatures drop a little bit overnight, but you know, we're not going to be looking at freezing temperatures, at least not here in the metro area. There is some watches and warnings over in the Hood River area with a freeze watch in place. But again, this is what's going to give us a chance for some light showers the next couple of days. Right? Upper level low, that's kind of bringing in a little bit of some shower activity throughout parts of southern Oregon and northern California. Could slide up a little bit, bringing in some light showers, mainly throughout the east side of the state here the next couple of days. You can kind of see tomorrow afternoon near the Mount Jefferson area, picking up some light showers. Same with parts of Eugene, but measurable amounts of rain really won't be moving in much over the next couple of days. Really, the last couple of days of April are going to be pretty much bone dry. Going into Monday, clouds will increase with a chance for some light sprinkles, and that chance will continue heading into Tuesday as well. Tomorrow, clear skies all day and a little bit warmer with temperatures right around the upper 60s to low 70s. Next week, a cooler start, but mainly dry, but not to worry. We get back to sunny and warmer conditions by the later part of next week. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Joe. We'll take it. All right, in the run up to summer, prepare for some more permanent parking changes if you are heading out to Sauvie Island. Starting June 15th until Labor Day, you will need a new parking permit to park at the island's beaches on the weekends and holidays. Jake Holter brings us the details.
So this new pass, called the Sauvie Island Beaches Parking Permit, is $10 a day and is the only pass that you will need to park here at Sauvie Island Beaches. The Wildlife Area Parking Permit is no longer valid here. Summer weekends on Sauvie Island, notoriously packed.
What that led to was people double parking, triple parking. We had really long traffic jams. So when there was an emergency vehicles could not make it to where they needed to be. They couldn't get on the shoulder because we had all those people double parking. So it was primarily a safety concern.
So starting June 15th, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is instituting a new Sauvie Island Beach parking permit for Walton, Collins, and North Unit beaches on weekends and holidays. This permit program will ensure that parking can't go over capacity.
What we saw was that if you planned ahead, people generally were able to get the pass in time and go out and enjoy the beaches.
Some people are on board.
To protect the wildlife, I think it is good.
Good, yes.
Yes, to not have, I guess, to limit the amount of people and traffic coming in. As Oregon is so beautiful and we want to protect it.
Others, not so much.
I understand why they would want to do it, but for me, for planning, I wouldn't be interested. I just want to show up and have a good time and come and go as I please.
Businesses also concerned the permits could hurt their profits.
We're certainly concerned about that. But we really see that this is a public safety problem that really just must be addressed.
There will be a checkpoint on Reeder Road to see if you have a permit, which can be bought online. And Fish and Wildlife tell me more information about how and when tickets will go on sale will be announced sometime next month. Back to you.
Well, it was no stork, but in this case, it certainly makes for a better story. A Delta Airlines flight was on its way to Portland yesterday when one of the passengers went into labor. Fortunately, flight crews are trained for situations like this, and a doctor and 2 nurses were on board and helped deliver the baby. They were able to keep watch until the plane landed, and they were all met by paramedics.